All right. Hey guys, welcome to our Sunday night planning session. I see some new names on here, so that's exciting. So welcome. If you have never been on here with us before, please know that you're going to need either a blank sheet of paper, preferably your blank 54321, a second device if you have it handy, because we are going to actually start planning out our week, like what we're going to do this week. So we meet as a team, or as a group, I'm sorry, on Sunday nights. Because I think a lot of people are home and available to do so on a Sunday night. So what our plan tonight is, we are going to just start putting into our 54321 the different people we're going to talk to, the different tasks that we would like to do this week. That way, when the week starts coming at you, you don't have to react to everything. You already have your plan in place. So typically we start with something like an I am or something like that. And so I was thinking, tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, and a lot of people will have the day off of school and work. But I decided to look for some quotes because there was like a few that are obviously just him. And so there's a quote I've heard for years, and I just didn't realize it was Martin Luther King. But I thought it would kind of be the theme for our week and life. But basically, faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. And so I know I've said that. I've probably had it on a vision board at one time. I just didn't realize it belonged to him. But I think that's what we do as promoters. We have to have the faith in our business, the product, ourselves, even when we don't really know what's going to happen. I think a lot of you, if you think back to when you became a promoter, you had no idea what was in front of you. I know I had no idea what was in front of me. I just wanted to get my product for free, maybe make an extra couple bucks. Here we are almost 5 years later. I had no clue what was in store for me. So keeping that thought in mind, that faith is taking this first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase, I would like for you to think about 3 to 5 things that you are afraid to do, whether it's something general, like I'm afraid to open a business checking account, or maybe it's something specific. I'm afraid to talk to Sally because she intimidates me, but I think she should thrive. I want you to think of 3 to 5 things that you are afraid or intimidated to do, but I want you to write them out in the way that you're going to do them. So in other words, tomorrow you're going to, like, number 1, tomorrow morning I'm calling the bank and opening a separate business checking account. Number 2, tomorrow afternoon I'm sending Sally an email to say hi. Like, actually write them out. So think of 3 to 5 things you're afraid of, and then write them out on your sheet, wherever you like to keep track of things, but make them into a sentence of action of what you're going to do. So I'm going to give you just a couple minutes, and we'll all do that together. Pay attention to the feelings that come up when you start to write these things down, because I know so far both things I've written down, I don't know if I'm even afraid as much as I'm like, well, that seems like a lot of work. So if you get those feelings in your belly, you definitely need to write them down. Number 4 made me feel a little pukey right there, so that must be a good sign. Boy, tonight's off to a super fun start. All right, if you're just jumping on in honor of Martin Luther King Day and the quote that belongs to him, that faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase, we are writing down 3 to 5 things that we are afraid to do, take the leap, that kind of thing. But instead of writing them down in a fearful way, we are rewriting the sentence in a plan of action. So one example I gave was, if you're afraid to open up a business checking account because you don't think that you're going to do enough business to really need that, and then you'd have this account. So you're going to write on your sheet, tomorrow morning I'm calling the bank and opening a checking account. So take your fear and turn it into an action statement, and we're writing down 3 to 5 of those. I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute to do that. If you get stuck, perhaps you took part in Lindsay's challenge about picking a word for the year. If you're getting stuck, think of the word that, so like, for example, I'm looking at my board right now, it's ceaseless. So maybe there's something that I said I want to be ceaseless, but maybe I'm not yet doing it. So that's something I'm going to want to write down as an action statement. All right, so you guys can keep writing, but I talked just a little bit. So the reason it's so important to do little exercises like this, while they may not seem like a big deal, I mean, I was the one who already knew this is what we were going to do tonight. And like I said, two of mine made me think, well, it's so much work, so I want to write it down. So I had to write it down. And then one made me a little pukey right in the back of my throat. So it's just sometimes getting to that uncomfortable spot in your mind that sometimes will actually show up in your body. Just connecting to that thought or that fear or that whatever, that action that you need to take. Maybe today's the first time that you've really connected to it. So maybe you need to connect to it more. Or maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, this will be easy. And as you started writing things down, you're like, oh gosh, it's a little harder than I thought. That's good. Like, learn that about yourself. Think about that. And the reason we write it down as an action step is now you can start using those as part of sort of like an I am. You can say it every day. So again, going back to the checking account thing, maybe you're hesitant because you're afraid that if you open one, you won't do enough business and then it'll seem silly to have it. Well, if you say every single day, I'm opening up my business checking, you're finally going to walk in there and do it. So connect with the things that scare you, put them into something, a positive action, and just revisit them on a daily basis. It can really change your mindset about something, anything, like I said, whether it's an action or a person or whatever. Okay, so let's start diving into our actual week. So hopefully you guys have your blank 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s in front of you. If you don't have one, you can at least grab a sheet of paper. And we're going to start planning out our reach outs, our follow-ups, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about social media today. I have a sort of a theme that I started last week with my team, and I want to carry it over in tonight into the power planning. So a book I was reading, the fellow was talking about follow-up. We all know follow-up and follow through. We all know what that means to follow through. Maybe a customer said, hey, what's in Sculpt? And you're like, I'll get you the ingredients, follow through, right? But the thing that he focused on that made so much sense to me is the follow back. And it's the follow back that a lot of people aren't doing because they told you no, or they thrived at one point and they stopped. And so now you're like, well, they're off my list. No, they're totally not off your list. You're not necessarily following up, because they haven't expressed a desire, but you're going to follow back with them. So let's say somebody thrived with you 3 months ago or 3 years ago, and they said they hated it, or they couldn't afford it, or they tried it, but they decided to try something new, and you just haven't contacted them since. You are missing a huge, huge bulk of potential. So what we're going to focus on tonight for our reach outs are what I'm going to call follow backs. So what I want you to do is log into your cloud. You're going to go to your customer list. And then when you get to that customer list, you're going to scroll over to the side, and then you're going to find the column that says last time they ordered, and you're going to click it once, just one time. The people who have never ordered from you will be at the top of that list. Those are the names we're going to start writing down for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you look at that list and you're like, holy cow, I think there's 100, just start putting 5 down a day. If you look at that list and you only have 6, put down 1 a day. We're going to start with our follow back list. So these are people who at some point in time felt close enough to you to give you their email, or to at least get in there and register an email, but they have never placed an order. So maybe you threw out something for a contest, or maybe they were like, I'll throw her a bone, she's new in business. Whatever, you're going to write their name down. Now, does that mean you're going to contact them Monday and be like, hey, I saw you made an account back in June of 2016 and you still haven't placed an order, so are you ready to do that today? That's not what we're going to do. I wish it was that easy. Instead, you're going to remind yourself about that person, because maybe it's somebody you haven't seen in a long time. You're going to stalk them on Facebook, Instagram, call their grandma, whatever you got to do. Find out what's going on with them, send them a message, and just create a conversation. How was Christmas? How are the kids over break? Are you guys doing anything fun for Martin Luther King Day? You guys, tomorrow, a lot of people have the day off. Like I said, that's a perfect excuse to reach out. What are you guys doing today? But so let's start with that. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to do that. So remember, you're going to go into your cloud. You're going to go into your customer list. So you'll go to my team, my customers. What is Sandra saying? Sandra, these people can be your CCC. These people can be your CCC people. Sandra, I'm unmuting you. Remind me about CCC.
Oh, custom conscious comment.
Sorry. Thank you. Yes. As soon as I asked, duh, got it. Okay.
I don't know where.
Oh, it's good. All right. So you're going to log in, my team, my customers, scroll over, find the date of last order, hit it one time, and all your people who have never ordered are going to pop up. So we're going to start writing those names down. Oh, here's a name I've never even heard of. Huh. Must have got a customer I didn't even know about. I literally don't know who this person is. That's crazy. I shall contact her tomorrow. So funny, I'm going through the list and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her. I remember her. Shame on me for not having talked to these people in a while. If you're just hopping on, we are going into our customer list and we are contacting people who created accounts that never ordered with us, whether they created it 4 years ago or 4 days ago. And I have lots of these, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm just writing and writing and writing. Thanks. Where's this girl? Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit while you guys are writing. So I'm just going to hit a little bit more on the thought of the follow back. So again, follow up, follow through are things that a lot of people know, understand, and they do, but it's the follow back. So, you know, when Paul says like to send people a message and keep them in the loop, and that's like, those are the people you're following up with. So you've made contact, you've started the conversation. It's finally led into what do you do for a living, or how is it that I always see you posting about workouts, whatever it is that they, you know, and then you're like, oh, what's this Thrive stuff? And so then you're just dripping them things every now and then about Thrive. Well, we're going to the follow back people. These are people who have literally been not contacted in so long because they told you no, they ordered and maybe stopped using it because they told you they went to another product. There's like this theme running through my team right now, and it's an awesome theme. We're getting orders, we're getting new Thrivers in the last week or two that made customer accounts in 2015 and 2016. So some of these people were just crickets for the last 4+ years. And some of these people maybe did a sample, didn't feel anything, said, stop bothering me, don't call me anymore. Or they're like, I'm going to use XYZ product. You guys, anytime somebody says to you, I'm going to try a different product, okay, go try it. And then follow up with them. You know how much stuff is out there that doesn't work. You know how much stuff is out there that costs way more than Thrive. And so they're probably trying it, and they're probably going to last, what, 4, maybe 8 weeks. And they're not going to be able to afford it anymore. It's not going to have done anything for them. And they're just going to be sitting there. And I can guarantee you, they are probably going to have their tail between their legs and not want to call and tell you that that stuff didn't work. So it's your job to reach out to them. And when you reach out, again, it's not like, hey, did that crap work for you? It's, hey, how's it going? What's going on in your world? Like, you start these conversations with them. So again, these are the follow back people. And I think we're all guilty of this. I know I am. People on your list that you have not talked to in quite a while because they flat out said no. You know, maybe even some of these people I don't know, maybe they were mean about it. Maybe they were rude to you. Well, put your big girl panties on, be the bigger person, and let them know you're still in business. Even though they might have been kind of crappy to you, you're the one that's still in business and you still have something to offer them. Sonia says, so again, people you don't know, have never met, how would you go about reaching out to them? That's a tough one, Sonia. I don't know if you keep notes or if you kind of remember that, let's say Bob is the name, the email that you got, and he was somebody that you met through a friend of a friend at an event that you went to, or maybe it was like one of those garage sale online things. Sometimes I've actually said this to people before and be like, hey, I don't even know if you remember me or not, because you're a friend of a friend that we met, and I met you at the golf outing, blah, blah, blah. But I enjoyed meeting you, and I just thought I'd pop in and say, hey. That's it. Sometimes people are like crickets, which is fine because they don't know you, you don't know them. And sometimes they're like, yeah, I totally remember you. What's going on? So I think those are almost easier because you don't know them. So if they don't respond, whoop-de-doo. It's not going to hurt your feelings, And you could, even if it's somebody that, and again, you've got to remember, what do they know about you, or what do they know about Thrive, or did they do a trial pack at one time, or, whatever. You could maybe even say, hey, I'm that girl that sent you that trial pack years and years, whatever, years and years ago, like we've done this for 20 years. Sent you that trial pack last year. And, I know things didn't work out, but I just want to say hi to you and see how you're doing. Like, just, make it real simple like that. Good question. All right. So follow back is the theme. You guys all have that. So what we're going to move on to next are your birthday reach outs. And I know we do this every week and it seems repetitive, and sometimes I feel silly even saying it, but if you aren't doing your birthday reach outs, so lots of companies pay for software to keep track of their customers' birthdays. You have Facebook. They're all right there in front of you. So I do encourage you, when you actually get a customer, like they're actually your customer, make sure you have their birthday on maybe like a separate sheet. Like I have my auto ship. I want to be fancy and call it a spreadsheet, but it's not super fancy. But anyway, it's who they are, when their auto ship drops. And then next to that, I have a little thing about like maybe samples I've sent them. So like this one girl, I sent her a sample of Blast, and a couple months later, I sent her a couple of pink DFT. So I know that, so I don't repeat myself. But I also have her birthday. So when her birthday comes around, I might be willing to repeat Blast or Boost or, whatever. But that way, before her birthday happens, she's my customer. I'm going to send her a little card that says, hey, happy birthday. Here's, whatever we have new, or something to try. I know sometimes when I say that, people are like, oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, don't take this wrong. None of you have so many customers that you can't do that. Right? I mean, I don't have so many customers that I can't do that. And if somebody's a customer one time, that's when I send them the thank you card and we start the relationship. If they drop off the face of the earth, then yes, I follow up with them like through maybe a Facebook or whatever. But if they're my auto ship repetitive customer, they get a card with a little something, something in it because they're my loyal customer. So, do you have to send a gift in the mail to every customer you have? No, because some people, you've already maybe gifted them $50 in credits or free DFT or whatever. That's, happy birthday to them. But people who are constantly repetitively ordering from you, yeah, that's a good idea to send them something special. I mean, think about when somebody sent you something special, like you remember that person. So, anyway, birthday reach outs, again, like I said, Facebook has them. So let's go in now. I know some of you do them the day of, some you'll do the day before, some the day after, however you choose to do it. Just make sure you do it. And again, hopefully you guys all know this, but when you reach out to them, you can do it like through a Facebook post. I tend to only reach out to do birthdays. If I know the person well enough, I text message them because that's just more intimate. And I'm saying happy birthday to somebody. So if I know them well enough to have their cell phone number, I text them. If not, I go into Messenger and I like to do a voice message and just say, hey, okay, funny story. Lori, you know this, I shared it with you, but earlier this week I was doing some birthday reach outs. And I came across this name and I was like, oh, I remember that name. I unfollow a lot of people because I don't want my newsfeed full of a bunch of my Thrivers, but maybe they're on my team. So I don't unfriend my team. I know some people do, whatever, float your boat, but I just unfollow them. So I haven't really been keeping up too good on this lady because she was not really an active promoter, blah, blah, blah. anyway, long story short, I get on her page to scope her out a little bit so I can make something intelligent about her birthday, to discover that her husband was in a horrible accident back in October, and he survived being run over by a pickup truck. So the message was so much nice. It was like, when I think back now, had I not gone through that, I just like, hey, Missy, hope you're having a great birthday. Versus, hey, Missy, just want you to know I've been praying for you and Matt. So happy things worked out. I bet it's the best birthday present ever that you have him here with you. That's a much more, that's a good message. So anyway, it was, most birthday messages don't take me that long to research, but it just goes to show you if you put a little extra time into it. So had I sent to her, and you guys have all done this, where you're like, hey, happy birthday, you get a thanks or a heart or whatever. I got a huge long message back from her. She had a lot going on in her life, and somebody took the time to acknowledge it. So think. I know it's on your checklist, so I know it's like, you want to boom, boom, boom. But remember, you're dealing with humans, and humans have lives, they have problems, they have feelings, they have exciting things, heartbreaking things. And so again, thanks to Facebook, you don't even have to really do much to stalk somebody to get a little information about them. So just make sure when you're doing your birthday reach outs that you connect to them on a personal level. And I always try to end with a question, whether it's like, are you getting taken out to your favorite restaurant tonight? Are you guys going to go away for the weekend to do something special? Whatever, just ask a question, because otherwise you're going to get a thank you. And thank you is nice, but you want to start a conversation. So anyway, start writing down those birthdays. And again, so you're going to go into Facebook. It's different whether you're on an iPhone or an Apple, or that's the same thing, or an Android. But find those birthdays in Facebook and start writing them down. And again, you've got a whole week worth. So take the time now to start writing those names out. Speaking of birthdays, Sandra Delbeck's was yesterday. Sandra, just so you know, while I'm doing this, Facebook keeps pulling you up, and they're encouraging me to send you a gift card from either GameStop, IHOP, Yankee Candle, or Sephora. So for Sephora, okay, I'll mark that down on my list, gift card. But isn't that nice? They're literally telling me, yeah. Mm-hmm. They know you. That is so funny. All right, while you guys are writing down some birthdays, I wrote mine down before we got on here just to be safe. Let's talk a little bit about social media. I'm not an expert, and I'm not going to go through all of the stuff. I just want to say one word, and that is consistency. That is what will make your social media work for you. If you get on Monday, and I see this, and I'm not making fun of anybody, but I see it, so I'm sure you do. Somebody will literally get on Monday, and they'll be all fired up about their job, and they're going to change some lives, and there's like 10 Facebook posts that day about Thrive. Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, they're mad at their coworker. Friday, they got their Thrive back in them for a little bit. It's just a matter of being consistent. You don't have to talk about Thrive 24/7. You just have to show your life. If you're a Thriver, your life has changed in some way, shape, or form. You either look different, you feel different, you're spending your time differently, you have different energy. It will come out of you. So is it good to drip in there every now and then that maybe you're the picture of your DFT or something like that? Absolutely. But you don't have to make every single post about Thrive, nor do you need to pound a solid day worth of Thrive posts. And again, I'm a huge fan of doing posts as well as stories because that's people are there. People are happening. What was I going to say? Facebook Lives. They don't do duels anymore. Tried that this week. That didn't pan out for me. So just know that Facebook Live is still a great place to go if you want to share something that you're doing. And again, it doesn't always have to be a Facebook Live about here's me and my business and here's what I'm doing. Like show where you are, show what's going on. People want to talk about time freedom. So show people what you're doing with your time freedom. People want to talk about all the energy they have. Well, show them what you're doing with all your energy. I think especially with social media, people like this, they are one thing on social media, but then you know them in real life and they don't line up, right? Like they don't line up. I have not enjoyed having big red blotchy faces this week, but I've not hit it because I would probably run into somebody on the street and they'll be like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? Because your Facebook pictures look great. So no, like be who you are. The more genuine and authentic you are, the more people will actually be able to know how your life has changed. And remember, if they know you or if they've been watching you, they will also be seeing that your life is changing. So just be consistent with it. I know in our little box, our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 here, it's 3 posts. So remember, that could be an Instagram post, a Facebook post, a story, a Twitter, or whatever, a tweet, a twatter, isn't that what Sandra calls them? Could be whatever you want to do. But just be consistent with your activity. Don't do a bunch one. Don't get on here and be like, I'm going to do 9 tomorrow and knock out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't do that. It's not how it works. Connecting with a leader. I cannot encourage you guys enough to be connecting people with somebody. And I think a lot of times people see that connect with a leader and they, I get the whole, well, my upline left. I don't have an upline, blah, blah, blah. I don't have an upline either. You're fine. Connect them to somebody. You got somebody in your, world. You got a sideline, a downline. And you do all have an upline at some point in time. And I know at least for my team on up, we have at least 3 200Ks above us. So we do have an upline that we can connect people with. But just be connecting, get out of the way. Trying to think, I think it was Samantha Cox earlier this week sent me a message and she's like, I've started working with this girl. I don't know her that well. She intimidates the hell out of me, but she mentioned something about Thrive. I'm going to put you in a 3-way chat. And I was like, okay. I'm not intimidated by her because I don't know her. I don't know her and she doesn't know me. I don't have this relationship that they have at work where one's the new girl and one's maybe a superior. I don't know. So we get in and I'm just like, hey, so what's going on? Sam said she had some questions about Thrive. She asked me her few questions. I gave her my answer. She's like, oh, wow, it seems so much easier than I thought it was going to be. So now what do? I just log in and I can place my order. I kid you not, within minutes, this person went from being like someone Sam was completely intimidated and petrified to talk to her newest customer. So get out of the way. If you're overthinking it, if you're worried about it, get on out of the way. All you got to do is connect. Okay, so there we go. All right. It's been 30 minutes. I try to do this in 30 minutes. I know we crammed a lot in. Remember, our theme for the week is follow back. So follow back with everyone that's ever told you no, or try to sample and disappeared, or use it for a little bit and then quit and went, especially if they went and tried a different product. Follow back. And remember, don't attack them and be like, I told you that crap wasn't going to work. Just be like, hey, how's it going? What's going on in your life? Ask lots of questions. When you are making social media posts, make sure you're ending with some sort of question or something that maybe someone can relate to. The more you communicate with people, the better they're going to get to know you and the better they're going to trust you. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Hopefully this helped you guys. Happy Sunday, and Dream Team, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.